Hello everyone, my name is Shay, and in this video I'll be exploring the legal concept of contributory negligence through the lens of a landmark Canadian Supreme Court case, Crocker v. Sundance Northwest Resorts Ltd. This topic is especially relevant for business leaders because it demonstrates the importance of risk management, clear communication, and responsibility, even when participants appear to accept risks. According to our textbook, contributory negligence is a legal defense used when a plaintiff is partially responsible for the harm that they've suffered. Instead of removing the defendant's liability entirely, it reduces the amount of damages the defendant must pay. The legal test involves determining whether the plaintiff failed to take reasonable care for their own safety and whether that failure contributed to the injury. As our textbook explains, the burden is on the defendant to prove that the plaintiff's actions fell below the standard care expected of a reasonable person. This differs from volunty non-fit injuria defense, where the defendant argues that the plaintiff voluntarily assumed all risks, meaning that the defendant owes no duty at all. So the case that I chose is Crocker v. Sundance Northwest Resorts, 1988, and it was decided by the Supreme Court of Canada. In this case, the defendant, a ski resort, held an inner tube race down a snow-covered hill. So they were, it was a competition, and they were racing down a ski hill in those big inflatable tubes. And the contestants were required to sign a waiver form that released the resort from liability for any injury that might happen during this race. Mr. Crocker, the plaintiff, signed the form but didn't read it. Importantly, he was visibly drunk, and the resort staff were aware of this. Despite his condition, they allowed him to participate in the event. During the race, Crocker was thrown from the tube and suffered severe injuries. He sued the resort, arguing that it negligently allowed an intoxicated person to participate in a dangerous activity. The resort argued that Crocker had voluntarily assumed the risk, the volunty defense, but the Supreme Court disagreed. The court held that the plaintiff had not voluntarily assumed the risk because he was intoxicated. The waiver was never explained to him, and the resort staff had a duty to prevent obviously drunk participants from racing. While the court acknowledged some contributory negligence, meaning Crocker did share some responsibility for his own safety, the resort still owed a duty of care that it breached. His intoxication and failure to read the waiver did not amount to full consent to all risks, especially when the defendant should have known he was unfit to participate. As a remedy, the court awarded damages to Crocker but reduced them by 25%, acknowledging that the contributory negligent by voluntarily entering a dangerous event while drunk. This case shows how damages can be split when both parties share fault, and that waivers are not a free pass for businesses to ignore safety. This case is a clear warning to business, especially those offering risky recreational activities. Simply handing a customer a waiver is not enough. They should be going through the waiver with them and making sure that they're actually reading it, especially if there's no condition to understand it. Business owners have a duty to protect customers from foreseeable harm, even when the customer seems to accept the risk. For business leaders, this case highlights the importance of proper risk assessment, staff training on when to intervene, clear communication and documentation. These steps not only reduce liability, but they also build consumer trust. So in the case, Crocker v. Sundance shows how contributory negligence and the volunty defense interact. While businesses can use waivers, they still have to act responsibly. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helped you understand the business and legal implications of contributory negligence in a real-world context.